Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Miss Brianne, and welcome back to another meeting of Sensory Friends. This is the club that meets once a month during every time school is in session, and we meet in order to create all these different fun and exciting sensory crafts for you to relax with and enjoy. Now, sometimes I base my sensory crafts on a certain theme, and others are just random. Well, this month's craft is based on a certain holiday. Now, we're in the month of March, so can anybody take a guess of what holiday I'm talking about? Well, if you said St. Patrick's Day, you are correct. This month we are focusing on the holiday of St. Patrick's Day. And it's not really a gift-giving holiday or anything like that. But what do you think of when you think of St. Patrick's Day? Well, you think of the color green. You think of anything that's Irish, because in Ireland they celebrate St. Patrick. You think about shamrocks, clovers, rainbows, pots of gold, leprechauns, all that cool stuff. And if you're somebody like me, sometimes you think about eating Irish food. I mean, you boys and girls might think I'm a little weird, but I always think about eating fish and chips every St. Patrick's Day. Even though I know that's really English and not Irish, but hey. Anyway, well, this month we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day the library way by creating a fun sensory craft with colors based on St. Patrick's Day. Now, I will show that to you in a little while, but first, usually my craft, before I do the craft, I always read you a story. Because I like to share the books that we here have to offer at the Westhampton Free Library. Now, today I have a cute little St. Patrick's Day book. And it's called Arthur Turns Green. And it's based off everybody's favorite cartoon character, Arthur. So there's Arthur and there's his little sister, DW. But anyway, let's begin. Arthur Turns Green. The author and illustrator is Marc Brown. Now, as you already should know, the author is the person who writes the words to the story, and the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures in the story. Now, the publisher is Little Brown and Company. Now, the publisher is that company that puts the book into print, puts it all together, and sends it to the bookstores for them to sell. Now, with that being said, are we ready? Okay, here we go. Arthur's class was working in the school garden when Mr. Ratburn began to explain their next class project. "Let's call it the Big Green Machine," he said. "Your job is to find ways to make our planet a better place to live. We'll present all of your ideas at a school family night." On the way home from school, Arthur and his friends talked about their projects. "I'm thinking garbage," said Buster, "because I love food, and when you don't eat food, it turns into garbage. So maybe I need to eat more." "I'm going to sell all my old clothes so other people can use them," said Muffy. "Then I can buy new clothes." "I'm going to collect soda cans and return them for the deposits," said Binky. "I can use the money to save polar bears." "What's your project, Arthur?" his friends asked. Arthur just smiled. "You'll see," he said. So I know the book's a little bit different from your basic St. Patrick's Day theme, but it's the color green, but green also has an environmental message. We do need to take better care of our earth. Do you think Arthur's friends have good ideas? Some of them are pretty good, right? What do you think Arthur's going to do? Do you think he gets the message of going green? Well, why don't we read to find out? At home, Arthur walked around the house, making notes and talking to himself. "Why are you acting weirder than usual?" asked D.W. "The big green machine," was all Arthur said as he unplugged his mom's cell phone charger. Oh, what do you think he's going to do? Well, let's see. After dinner, Arthur changed the light bulbs in 3 lamps to bulbs that save energy. At bedtime, he took the shortest shower ever and shut the water off while he brushed his teeth. So it looks like Arthur has some good ideas, right? He unplugs his mother's cell phone charger when it's not in use. He's changing to better light bulbs that save more energy. And he's not using as much water. Are those all good ideas? What do you think Arthur's talking about when he's talking about the big green machine? Well, why don't we see? Then Arthur came in to say goodnight to D.W. and turned off the lights while she was still reading. Fluffy, the very special unicorn. I'm not sure if D.W. is going to be happy about that, do you, boys and girls? Well, let's see what happens. The next day, Arthur and his friends stayed after school to work on their projects. "Is that a picture of your house?" asked Buster. "Yes," said Arthur. "I found things I can do to save energy in almost every room." Oh, wow, isn't that amazing? Arthur's pretty much thought of some cool ideas. Can you think of the few that he already did? Well, he unplugged chargers when they're not in use. He's not using as much water. He's changing light bulbs. And he's making sure some lights are still shut off. Can you think of any other ideas that Arthur could have done? Well, why don't we read to see what happens next? Arthur was late for dinner. "You owe me big time," said D.W. "I had to set the table, and that's your job." "Sorry," said Arthur. "I had to deal with the big green machine at school." Then D.W. noticed Arthur's green hands. "That machine is turning Arthur green," she thought. Uh-oh. You think D.W. is getting a little worried? Do you think Arthur's really turning green? Probably not really, right? D.W. thinks this. She's probably the same age as some of you boys and girls, maybe a little younger. But what do you think could be the reason why Arthur's hands may have turned green? Well, why don't we keep reading to see what happens? At bedtime, D.W. found lots of new plants in her room. She heard odd noises coming from the garage. A shadowy figure was sneaking through the yard. "Things are getting really creepy around here," she thought. Well, it looks like Arthur's really going into this project, huh? Let's continue. The next morning at preschool, DW worried about Arthur. "There's a big machine that's turning my brother green," DW told her friends. "You're making that up," said Tommy and Timmy. "Am not," said DW. "Come over to my house after school to see for yourselves." So she's younger than you boys and girls. And she's really worried about this machine. Do you think there really is a machine? What do you think is going to happen when she has her friends over? Well, let's continue. Later that afternoon, Buster helped Arthur and his dad work in the garden. "You have a real green thumb, Arthur," said Dad. "Me too," joked Buster. "I'm still green from working on our projects." "Wow," said Tommy. "Arthur really is turning green." "Look," said Timmy. "So is Buster." Somehow this big green machine turns everyone green," said DW. Now again, what do you think is a reasonable explanation that Buster and Arthur's hands are green? Probably paint, right? Well, let's continue. At dinner, Arthur set the table with cloth napkins instead of paper ones. When his family was finished eating, he checked his watch. "Time to go," he said. "Go where?" asked DW. "Dad's helping us with the big green machine at school," Arthur explained. "See you later, alligator," said Dad. "Oh no," thought DW. "Not Dad too." Uh-oh. What do you think's going to happen, boys and girls? Well, why don't we read to find out? That night, DW dreamed about a big green machine that ran around turning everyone green. Then, it started chasing her. She woke up just in time. Uh-oh. When she went down for breakfast, DW gasped. "Dad's hands were green too." "Tonight is family night at school," said Arthur. "I'll show you how we can have that big green machine right here at home." "I can't go," declared DW. "I feel sick. Real sick." Why do you think DW doesn't want to go to school? Do you think she's afraid she's going to turn green as well? Well, let's see what actually happens. But DW didn't have a temperature, so that night the whole family went to Arthur's school. Just before they went in, DW suddenly grabbed Arthur's arm. "Help me!" cried DW. "I don't want the big green machine to turn me green too." "It's not what you think," said Arthur. "Follow me." So we're finally going to get to see Arthur's big green machine. What do you think it is? Well, let's find out. The big green machine is just the name of our class project. It's about all the things we can do to save the planet, said Arthur. "Oh, well, why didn't you say so?" said DW. Mom smiled and gave Arthur a hug. Then DW read Arthur's poster out loud. So take a look at some of the ways that you can turn your house green. Not the color green, but make it more energy efficient and better for our environment. made great ideas. And feel free to pause if you need more time to look at it. Back at home, Dad made ice cream sundaes. Then it was time for bed. Arthur and DW turned off the water while they brushed their teeth. It's so funny that you thought the big green machine was turning everyone green, Arthur laughed. Yeah, that was pretty funny, agreed DW. Suddenly, everything went dark. Hey, said Arthur, who turned off the lights? I did, said DW with a giggle. Looks like I'm turning green too. And that is the end of the story. So, I know it's not really green like St. Patrick's Day green, but it's a bit more like Save the Planet green. Not really, I know it's not really St. Patrick's Day related, but I certainly hope you had fun enjoying that story, boys and girls. And if you are interested in this book, it is found in our holiday section with all the other St. Patrick's Day books. But take a moment or two to think about the lessons we can learn from this story. Well, probably the lesson we learned here is that we can think of small ways to help our environment. And even if it's small, if everybody does it, it's so much better for our planet, right? Well, in any event, I hope you enjoyed the story. But now it's time to move on for our activity. Now, I know it's St. Patrick's Day based, but it is kind of tied into our theme of recycling. And we're actually reusing some old water bottles in order to do this craft. That's one way to reuse our water bottles, right? But I'm going to guide you step by step on what to do. And I'm going to show you a sample of the first one I did. So I'm going to zoom out. Just give me 2 seconds. Or zoom in, rather. Yeah, zoom out. As you can see here, it looked like it didn't come out so well, right? That's because Miss Brianne used a different recipe or activity to do this program. And it didn't turn out so well. So, I used a combination of hand soap and dish soap. I don't think the two really work too well. So, we are going to do a little bit of an experiment. Because what's supposed to happen is that the glitter and the confetti is supposed to slowly glide down. And it doesn't look like that's happening. And it looks like the liquid is clouding up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to try a different combination of materials. And we'll see if they work. So I hope we can do this experiment together, boys and girls. Does that sound like fun? So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what we're going to be doing. So we're going to try the following things. We are going to use a recycled water bottle, some green colored dish soap, some water, glitter mix, and some glitter mix. So, The goal here is we hope this works a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew the cap of the water bottle. Then we're going to take our green dish soap and we are going to fill it up to the bottle up to 2/3 of the way full. I may not have enough for 2/3. I thought these bottles were a little bit smaller than they actually are. But I'm going to use up all my dish soap for this. Now, as it turned out, I didn't have enough. So, and I don't have any more green dish soap right now. So I'm going to mix it a little bit with this clear dish soap. And it's actually an environmental dish soap that's powered by plants. So it's very efficient and it's better for our environment. So I'm going to put, as soon as I unscrew the top, take the seal off the top. Lesson learned, boys and girls. Make sure everything's working before you record. And everybody pray that this works. So I'm just going to fill that a little bit more until it's about 2/3 full. And I think that's about enough, right? Then I'm just going to take a straw and mix it around a little bit. Still looks pretty good. Okay. Now that that's done, next thing we're going to do is take our glitter mix and we're just going to spoon it in as careful as we can into our calming bottle. Now, if you have a funnel, that may actually work out, boys and girls, but spoon as much of this into your water bottle as you can. And it's just a mixture of gem stickers and green glitter and shamrock confetti. Alright, and now that that's done, the next thing we're going to do is take our water and fill it to the top very carefully. Oh wow, that looks like it's working really well, isn't it, boys and girls? Just a little bit more. You don't want to fill it all the way. Then we're just going to turn it around to see what happens. Wow, that looks like it worked really nicely this time, don't you think? Yes, that worked very well. So, it looks like our little experiment worked. Right, boys and girls? It looks like this calming bottle was a success. And you just turn it upside down, though you may have to hold it. These will work better with the Voss water bottles, but they're very hard to find and they are a little bit expensive. Plus, we still had all these, so we thought we'd just use these instead. But actually, in any event, this calming bottle was a success. And I certainly hope you enjoy making this with me, boys and girls. It's been fun. For next month, we're going to be making something really cool. So please stay tuned for that. And please check out all the other spring-based library programs for March and St. Patrick's Day-based programs for March that myself and the other children's librarians here at the Westhampton Free Library have to offer. But until then, this is Miss Brianne, and thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next month.